Akelli, how did this project come your way and what's the story?
This project came to me, I think, before lockdown, which is about 3 years back. And believe it or not, I said no to it then. And it was a story and an idea that the director had, and I think I didn't know then, but I think over the period of shooting this film, I found out that it was something he had discovered and he had met people. So most of what we did are stories that he has come across. They are actually inspired by true life stories, which then I didn't know. I just read a script and I said this is too much. It's very heavy. It's very responsible. It's too much for me to take on alone in the real sense of it. So I said maybe not now. Maybe I'm not prepared for this. And lockdown happened, and I think they got time to sit and think back on the script and think back on how they're going to do it. Of course, in the lockdown, there were so many things that changed. If this film would have started before lockdown, we would not have finished it, because we would have been stuck either there or here. But they took time to kind of make the script more tight. I think they trimmed out all the fat. They got the right team on. They got Tsahi on, they got Amir on, they got a great producer, they got a great DOP, a production designer. So the whole film came together very beautifully, and they came back to me after 3 years. They've hounded me. Like, they met me on a set of another film and said, listen, we came to you with this 3 years back. That time you said you were not prepared and you didn't think we would be able to do this, but we are so prepared now that I don't think you'll find a loophole in any pitch that we are making to you. And I read it again, and then I saw everything that they'd set up, and I said, yeah, I mean, I can literally walk onto set tomorrow and start shooting this. They were that ready.
First timers there in terms of they had done a lot of work in Marathi cinema, regional cinema, never done a big bang movie like this, a project which is very ambitious. When they approached you, what did you think? Who are you guys?
Yeah, exactly. That was the, I was sitting at home in Israel and reading the mail, from the casting. I said, yeah, we're casting, we want to send you a script. I said, okay. Thank God the year before I visited India and I had I built up some relationships. So I called the guys, I called them, is this really happening?
Really
They're real casting? And then eventually, we had a Zoom call and I said, actually, the first part that they offered me, I said, and then they offered me the part of Assad, of the antagonist in a way, and I found it very interesting. I realized that there is, especially due to the openness of working on the character and seeing how you make it much more interesting, much more complex. So there was a lot of back and forth. And thank God for that. I mean, I'm really happy that this is my first Indian project.
I know, and Vicky said this to me. He said the number of mails he's exchanged with Tsahi and Amir, he said, I've never done in my career. Because nobody in Bombay does so many emails. We talk, we meet, we have a paper. We have that one paperwork that we sign and it's done. He said, we have emails, like he said, there are hundreds and hundreds of emails on even like one dialogue check, or like even like a thought check. It's an email confirmation. He said, I've never had so many emails in my life.
And it was my first time that actually Pranay, he went over all the script live in Zoom.
Oh.
That was the first time that I ever
you did like a Zoom narration.
Yeah.
We got used to that.
And I guess it's something that is used to be. I mean,
it's become a thing.
Like
yeah. Because of the lockdown, we started doing narrations and meetings on Zoom. I've done 4 hours. I was like, okay, guys, there's no more time extension left. Can we just wrap it up?
But the way Israeli film work happens there. You've done a lot of world cinema also, and how Indian film industry works. And is there a difference, or did you say, what am I doing here? Did you think like that on the first day of the shoot?
What I find the most amazing about this world of cinema, and thank God I've done, like only this year I've done an Argentina Spanish-speaking movie in Argentina, a Swedish series in Europe, Akelli. The DNA of the people It's the same DNA.
It's the same DNA.
It's the same DNA, and this is what is. You know, the sound guy will always be the guy. You know, very quiet on the side. You hardly can hear him, and the DOP will be the same. So this is what I find.
The ADs will be very loud,
yeah.
screaming around, and it's like, okay.
This is the magic of it. But what was interesting and fun, because we filmed in Uzbekistan, was to see the interaction between, you know, the Indian crew and the Uzbeki crew, and the differences of languages and understanding.
Nobody spoke each other's language. There they only speak either Russian or Uzbek. And we are all like, oh God, Hindi में चालू हो गए हम हमें कैसे होने वाला है, ये light नहीं हिला सकता, ये camera नहीं समझ रहा, ये angle नहीं समझ रहा. How do you tell them what we want? What is our visual? We were really struggling. We were really struggling.
But it's like I say, you know, the magic is there, the passion is there, and I think there is a lot of similarity. Of course, when you work different budgets, it changes. When you work with different people and characters, it changes. But the DNA is there.
Yeah, I have to share a special, you know, personal memory. I've gone to some of the countries in Eastern Europe, in Egypt, Africa, and some other. There is always a, you know, smattering of Hindi cinema. The moment they say India, so they know Mithun Chakravarti, they know Amitabh Bachchan, they know Raj Kapoor. They know that genre, not the post 2000, and they know songs from there.
Yes.
Is that true in Israel?
Israel, you know, there is a large Indian community also, and a lot of fans of Indian movies. And like I said, especially, you know, the oldies and the songs. But they are, like, there is a Facebook page with a lot of, and they're always like they're updated. They know what's happening, new movies. They have screenings of the movies. So yeah, there is a large fan base.
So you ever heard a Hindi song in your singing career, in your interest?
He sung too.
You sung too?
As in, like, he can sing it now.
I know. So,
do you want to hear it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on, Tsahi, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Which one?
Whichever one you want. The second one, I think.
The Yara song?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but I need the words, okay? I hope,
this is what? Yara Teri Yari Ko?
Yeah.
Amitabh Bachchan.
मेरी जिंदगी सवारे मुझको गले लगा के बैतारिया फलक पे मुझका कसे उठा के यारा तेरी यारी को
One of my favorites.
मैंने तो खुदा माना याद करेगी दुनिया तेरा मेरा अफसाना.
Lovely. Fantastic. So, but you also went for a reality show. Despite being an established actor, you tried your luck with The Voice and some other platforms?
Oh, just, you know, a small correction. I'm basically a singer-songwriter musician, you know, so I mean, my whole background is music. I gained a lot of experience performing and writing until the age of 36, 37, in which they were looking for people who speak Arabic for a film called Bethlehem that came out in 2013 and went on to win Venice Festival. So I'm actually an actor only for the past 10 years.
So then you wanted to go back to singing, or do you wanted to just keep that alive? Because your acting career has really taken off.
Yeah, I feel very privileged to be able to mix both worlds, and wherever I have a chance of singing, like we did with Akelli, you know, if even this antagonist, this villain, why not make him sing a song? So wherever I have the chance to mix both worlds, that's...
So you played the antagonist, the villain.
Yes.
You sung a song in Hindi. Nusrat, we've got to get him to sing something in Hebrew also, no?
No, the one he sang
his own
in the
composition.
film.
In the film?
Yeah.
Please.
وياك وياك الدنيا حلوة وياك في صفاك وجفاك أنا راضي يا حبيبي برداك تعاندني تكايدني مطرح مطروح وياك.
One more line.
I'm not sure that for
So this
Nushratt
song,
is
it sounds very nice and it sounds like a fun melody, romance, but in the film it's actually terrorizing. So he sings this as a soothing lullaby to me just before he's going to, brutally violate my rights. This music and this tune is haunting. It's haunting. When we shot it, when we got out of it, even when he sings it now, I'm just there.
In that space. But let me ask you, how difficult, easy was it compared to your body of work? And there's a follow-up question which I've been waiting to ask you, but in terms of playing your character.
So, the reason why I said no to it 3 years back is because I'm somebody who reads. I can't be dishonest with the material that I have. I think first and foremost, the actor in me will just not be able to do something I'm not fully convinced in. And when I read it, even though the script was nice, I felt like I was going to fall short. I felt like I have not had that kind of, and honestly before lockdown I had not done a single solo film. So to think of doing a whole film on my own, it was scary. I said, I don't think I can do these emotions. I don't think I can put myself through this. So maybe I suggested other actors to them. I said, why don't you go to her or go to her? But I did Chori, I did Janhit, I did Ajeeb, I did all of these films. And when these guys came back to me after 3 years, I just somewhere felt like, I'm opened up as a person. And also lockdown. Lockdown did give a lot of people their own perspectives.
Correct.
And a completely different way of seeing life and where they were. I changed a lot in those 2 years of lockdown as well, where I don't know how we as a whole team and me also just found the courage to do this film.
Would you agree, disagree if I were to say that everybody has good and bad in them? So when
Right.
you got to play a bad character, you got to antagonist, you got to dive into and pull out
Yes.
some part of your, personality and just give it some more shape and manifest. You may not be, because we choose to keep that aside and we choose to be certain people. But when you got to play something as intense as you're saying, you've got to go through somebody who's struggling, who's all alone there and stuck. Did you dive into a life experience? Where did you find the
Every day.
inspiration, the peg to get into?
Every day. So when any of us go through a trauma, we spend so much money, time, seek a therapist, talk to friends to get out of that trauma, right? And nobody wants to think of their childhood traumas or their yesteryear traumas. They don't want to think about them. But as actors, because I have no other trauma, like I have not gone through what Jyoti's gone through, it's not happened to me. So where do I get that from? So I have to visit the traumas of my life every single time. So no matter which film I pick, even though technically for mental health I should not be visiting, or actors should not be visiting, anybody should not visit their traumas again, but I sit and only think of those traumatizing moments of mine, go back in time, I become that child, I become that girl, and then I bring that emotion from there into this. But that's the only tool I have.
So then how do you circle back to sanity? How do you
I take a break, Anand. I've not shot anything in the last 7 months.
It's been so
haven't.
intense?
It's been that. Because I did this and I did Chori too, back to back.
Yeah, Chori is also.
So it took everything I had out of me. I was sucked out of all kind of normalness also.
But one fun moment,
Yeah,
or
sure.
memorable moment from shooting
Terrible.
the film?
No fun moments. Terrible.
Yeah.
No, but okay, whatever. Well, whatever. I won't say fun. One memorable moment. I know the
No.
movie-
We had fun. No.
Interesting.
Memorable.
Something that you'll take away and you'll say, all right, I'll always go back and remember this movie
I
because of
think it was Uzbekistan as a place where we shot.